Hello, my name is Hasib Javed and my topic for presentation is Mughal Empires and Downfall of Muslim Society. Introduction to Mughal Empires. Mughal ruled northern India from 1526 to 1857 AD. The Lodhis were the last dynasty in Delhi before the Mughal established their presence. In 1529 at Panipat a battle was fought between Babur and Lodhi army, who was the last dynasty. Lodhi army was defeated. Mughal ruled the subcontinent for the centuries and left an indelible mark on its culture and society. Mughal empires are well known all over the world for their golden rule over the subcontinent, which lasted for over 3 centuries. Not only did they gloriously rule this part of the world, they also left an indelible mark on the Indian subcontinent with their art and architecture. To this day, there are beautiful buildings in all parts of the subcontinent, now divided into India and Pakistan, which reminded of its splendid past. Renowned Mughals. The first renowned Mughal was Zahiruddin Babur. Babur was king of Kabul. Like his ancestor Timur, he also wanted to loot India. Being an able general, Babur could easily defeat the Lodi soldiers. In the Battle of Panipat, Babur was helped by Rajput prince Rana Sanga of Mewar. After winning the battle, Babur not only took his share of the loot but also established himself as the ruler. He defeated Rana Sanga and Afghan generals who helped in his battle against the Lodhis. Babur was a great scholar. He wrote whatever he saw. These writings are called Babur Nama. He was an admirer of nature's bounty. He built many parks inside and outside the palace. Though he laid the foundation of Mughal rule in India, but he did not live long to see it growing. Battles fought by Babur include Battle of Panipat, Kanwa, Chandri and Gogra. The next Mughal emperor was Nasiruddin Humayun. After Babur, his son Humayun became the ruler. The Afghan noble wanted the Mughal to leave India. Sher Shah, an Afghan, defeated Humayun in 1540. The Humayun lost his power but gained it in 1555. Unfortunately, he died in 1556. After defeating Humayun, Sher Shah became the ruler of India. He was an able administrator. He introduced a rational system of taxation. He introduced many reforms. He constructed the Grand Trunk Road, which is known as GT Road. He planted trees, built rest houses. He issued coin known as rupiah, which we call today as rupee. He also introduced postal system. He died in accident in 1545. In 1555, Humayun regained the throne. The next Mughal emperor was Jalaluddin Akbar. Akbar was 13 when he became the ruler. His guardian Bahram Khan, a general, became the regent. The, when Akbar attained the age, he took over the government. Gwalior, Ajmer, Malwa and Jaunpur were won over by Akbar. He was very friendly with the Hindus through matrimonial alliances and through appointment of Hindus in high positions. Akbar was able to command over a large empire. Akbar divided his empire into 15 provinces. Akbar introduced Mansabdari system by which officer was given a rank or a mansab. Persian was official language that time. Akbar was a great patron of music and art. Fatehpur Sikri is an example of excellent style of architecture. Akbar was liberal in his policy toward non-Muslims. Akbar's sincere efforts to bring the Indians together were a landmark in the social life of the people. Akbar conquered Malwa, Chittor, Kalinjar, Gujarat, Mewar, Kashmir, Sindh, and Asgarh. The next Mughal emperor was Jahangir. Jahangir succeeded Akbar. He was an admirer and followed many of his father's qualities. Because of his father's efforts and far-sightedness, Jahangir could easily enjoy a peaceful life. Rulers of Mewar and Ahmednagar became his allies. His wife Mehrun-Nisa, whom he called Noor Jahan, ruled the kingdom. When Jahangir gave permission to Britishers to set up factories in India, he had no idea that they would become the ruler. He was lover of nature. He died in 1627. The next Mughal emperor was Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan became a ruler after death of Jahangir. He had to deal with many rewards. Taj Mahal, the world famous tomb of his queen Mumtaz Mahal, and the peacock throne belonged to his reign. Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas, Jama Masjid, Moti Masjid, Red Fort are monuments such that Shah Jahan built. Taj Mahal is one of the seven wonders of the world. He had to witness fight of the throne among his four sons. Aurangzeb defeated his brothers, imprisoned his father, and crowned himself as the king. In 1666, Shah Jahan died at the age of 74. The next Mughal emperor was Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb's reign of nearly 50 years was full of conflicts. He raised the taxes to sustain the campaign by himself, an honest man with simple lifestyle. He was an he was a Muslim to the core, so his rule with the help of laws of Islam made him very unpopular. The Rajput, Sikhs, Jats, and the Marathas resisted him. As this is not enough, he had to face trouble with Portuguese and English. He destroyed many Hindu temples. When he died in March 1707, the empire was collapsing. The death of Aurangzeb led to chaos and confusion about the succession of throne. Bahadur Shah became the king. He died in 1712. The Marathas came to power. Here is the family tree of Mughal rulers. The first Mughal ruler was Babur, then Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. End of Mughal Empire. After Aurangzeb death, the Mughal Empire broke down. The internal fights among the nobles, among sons of Aurangzeb, the attack from outsides. The period of the Great Mughal, which began in 1526 with Babur's accession to the throne, ended with the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. Aurangzeb's death marked the end of the era in Indian history. When Aurangzeb died, the empire of the Mughal was largest in India, yet within about 50 years of his death, the Mughal empire disintegrated. Aurangzeb's death was followed by a war of succession among his three sons. It ended in the victory of eldest brother Prince Muazzam. The 65 years old prince ascended the throne under the name of Bahadur Shah. Areas captured by Mughal Empire. Here is the map of the areas that were captured by Mughal rulers. Now let's move on to the causes of decline of Mughal Empire. The Persian ruler Nadir Shah attacked India and carried away huge quantities of gold and other treasure. The Mughal Empire lasted for nearly 315 years. One of the reasons for fall was that down the line of success it met with financial troubles. Let's move on to the reasons. War of Succession. The Mughal did not follow any law of succession like the law of primogeniture. Consequently, each time a ruler died, a war of succession between the brothers for the throne started. This weakened the Mughal Empire, especially after Aurangzeb. The nobles, by siding with one contender over the other, increased their own power. Aurangzeb's policies. Aurangzeb failed to realize that vast Mughal empire depended on the willing support of the people. He lost the support of the Rajput, who had contributed greatly to the strength of the empire. They had acted as pillars of support, but Aurangzeb's policy turned them to bitter foes. The war with the Sikhs, the Marathas, the Jats, and the Rajputs had drained the resources of the Mughal empire. Weak successors of Aurangzeb. The successors of Aurangzeb were weak and became victims of the intrigues and conspiracies of the faction-ridden nobles. They were inefficient generals and incapable of suppressing revolts. The absence of a strong ruler, and efficient bureaucracy, and capable army had made the Mughal Empire weak. Empty treasure and invasion. Shah Jahan's zeal for construction had depleted the treasury. Aurangzeb's long wars in the south had further drained the exchequer. Foreign invasion sapped the remaining strength of the Mughals and hastened the process of disintegration. The invasion of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali resulted in further drainage of wealth. These invasions shook the very stability of the empire. Size of empire and challenge from regional powers. The Mughal Empire had become too large to be controlled by any ruler from the center. The great Mughal were efficient and exercised control over ministers and army, but the later Mughal were poor administrators. As a result, the distant provinces became independent. The rise of independent states led to disintegration of the Mughal Empire. The later Mughal ruler included Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah, Farooq Siyar, Muhammad Shah, Ahmad Shah, Alamgir, Shah Alam, Akbar and Bahadur Shah. Arrival of British. The aristocracy, steeped in luxury and enjoyment, was completely unaware of the advent of Europeans who were eagerly and cleverly looking for weak spots to expand their empire and treasury. British initially came to India for trading. They got permission from Mughals to trade in 1612. The trade proved very profitable. To ensure continuation and promotion of the trade, British found it necessary to capture Indian territories. The first Indian resistance and the battle against an Indian ruler occurred in 1757, which is known as Battle of Plassey. In this battle, Nawab Surajuddaula of Bengal was defeated by the British. As a result, came under British control, and British now collected the revenue of great goods in the price at which they wanted. They thoroughly exploited the wealth of Bengal and completely plundered it. The next resistance and battle was the Battle of Buxar in 1764, in which Mir Qasim Nawab of Coorg and Mughal king Shah Alam. As a result, Bihar and Orissa came under British control. The British wanted full control over the South India to protect their spice trade. The strong and well organized state of Mysore was a hindrance. Earlier, the ruler of Mysore, Hyder Ali, had given British a tough time in the strait and defeated them in several battles, but he couldn't push them out of India. After his death, son Tipu Sultan was killed, and South India came under British in 1799.